Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us for Torch Literary Arts Amplify Austin campaign here at Austin Public. Thank you to Austin Public and I Live Here, I Give Here for making this space available to us to get to share a bit more about Torch Literary Arts and the incredible work that we do to amplify Black women writers. My name is Amanda Johnston. I'm the founder and executive director of Torch Literary Arts. I founded Torch in 2006 to make a space reserved for Black women writers. As a Black woman writer, I know the joys and challenges that we experience as we're trying to build our literary careers and express ourselves on the page and in the world. But through Torch, we're able to provide incredible programs, including our online magazine, Torch Magazine, that pays $150 per piece to every feature that we publish, our workshops for creative writing and professional development, our Wildfire Reading Series that celebrates notable authors from Central Texas and across the country, as well as an annual retreat that brings in 6 to 8 fellows every year so that they can work on a work in progress across poetry, fiction, creative nonfiction, as well as script, so plays or screenplays. And we do all of this work at low to no cost, and we're able to do that with your support. So I want you to go to amplifyaustinatx.org. Make sure that you donate or join our experience on Instagram where you like our prize post, follow Torch, and tag a friend to be entered to win some incredible prizes from our community partners. I'm going to list a couple of those right now. So we've got some Torch swag bags, we've got some books, a $40 gift card to Book People, 2 tickets to the Paramount Classic Film Series, Typewriter Tarot gift pack, which includes decks and a workbook. We've got 4 tickets to the Round Rock Express. We've got 4 tickets to the WNBA Dallas Wings. We've got Kendra Scott jewelry, and we've got an autographed San Antonio Spurs jersey. And the big prize, we've got 2 tickets to see Nicki Minaj at the downtown in Austin and a night stay at the Colton House Hotel. So you don't want to miss an opportunity to support a good cause in Torch Literary Arts, as well as have a chance to win some amazing prizes. And with that, we're going to go to a break before we bring out our special guest, Kelis Rowe. We've got with us Kelis Rowe, author of Finding Jupiter. Thank you so much for joining us. William, I'm gonna start first with by reading your bio because
Okay.
people need to know exactly who is in the room.
Okay.
Kelis Rowe is a stay-at-home mom and a former homeschooler who writes sweeping classic teen romance novels from the points of view of grounded, self-possessed Black girls and the Black teen boys who just gotta love them. Her debut novel, Finding Jupiter, is a contemporary literary romance about a James Taylor and Beyonce fan and a champion swimmer bonding through shared grief and falling in love one fateful summer. It incorporates journal pages of art and found poetry from the pages of classic novels, including The Great Gatsby and Their Eyes Were Watching God. Kelis writes out of her suburban home near Austin, Texas. Oh my gosh, welcome, Kelis. We're so happy to
Thank
have you here.
you. Thank
So,
you.
something special just happened too. The book came out last year, but
Mm-hmm.
the paperback is out
Yes,
now.
the paperback is out. It just came out yesterday, and I'm so excited
Yes,
about
hold it up for
it.
the girlies. Yes.
There are discussion questions in the back for the book clubs
Oh,
and
wow.
schools.
I
Yeah.
love that. Support education and book club
Yes.
readers. So,
Yes.
why don't you tell us a little bit about the book? Don't give away any spoilers because we
Okay.
want them to read and dig in, but tell us a little
Okay.
bit about the book.
This book was a passion project that I started in the mid 2000s. My son, I had been a homeschooler, and my son went to public school. And my background was in marketing research, but I had been out of the field for so long that it was difficult for me to conceptualize going back to work. And
Mhm.
so I had my identity was kind of tied up in being a mom, and I was like, what am I going to do next? And writing was always something that I was drawn to. I even when I was working, I ran a blog because I just needed to write creatively. And so I wrote this book, and I told myself that I was going to write the book of my dreams. I'll tell you I'll make this long story longer by telling you that I was 40 years old when I opened a book that was written for teenagers and saw a reflection of myself.
Mm,
It was Liara Tamani's Calling My Name. I
okay.
reached for the book because there was a black girl on the front.
Yeah.
And when I opened it, I started reading, and it was something that I could have written. It was like she wrote my story. I stopped, I took a picture of it, I sent it to my best friend. I said, "Girl, it's us." And that's when I decided I was going to write now for
Mhm.
young people to give them that experience as young people. I don't want black girls to wait until they're 40
Right.
to open a book and see a reflection of themselves. And so I put everything that I love in this book because I was going to write it
Mhm.
and put it out in the world and say, checkbox, I did it. I wrote a book. I sold it on Amazon,
Mhm.
whatever. And then I entered a contest on Twitter. I got a lot of offers for representation, and my book sold at auction in a 7-way auction ultimately. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a dream.
What an inspiring story.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And thank you for not waiting any longer to share your story, to write your
Yeah.
book. Toni Morrison, I think, said that if there's a book that you want to see in the world and it's not there, then you
Yes.
have to write
That's the
it.
quote on my website, on my about why I write. And that's the
Yes.
quote. And it's very true. And I was like, I had to write this book because I felt like if I didn't, I knew I wanted to have more kids. And I felt like I would kind of disappear. I get emotional
That's all
talking about
right.
it because I felt like if I didn't write this book and put it out into the world and kept having had another kid, which I wanted to do, which was my dream, I felt like I would lose myself, I would disappear.
Mm.
And so this book, it's been such a wonderful, just charmed kind of experience.
Well,
Yeah.
you definitely didn't disappear. You are right here
I
with us. And
didn't.
thank you
I'm
for sharing your work with
here.
us. So
Thank
we all get
you.
the pleasure and joy to read it.
Thank you so much.
So now let's hear a little bit about these characters.
Hmm.
These YA romance.
Yeah,
What's going on in their lives?
it's young adult romance. Ray and Orion are both. It's a Memphis story. I'm from Memphis.
Okay.
I left Memphis right after college, so all my teenage years were in Memphis. So that's what I wrote about. And also, my big love happened in Memphis. I was 18 when I met my husband a
Oh,
million years ago, and
beautiful.
I wanted to examine how, because a lot of times in the Black community or with Black entertainment, we talk about fathers,
Mm.
and I kind of wanted to examine what it looks like for two young people, one who has never met her father. He died in a tragic accident when she was
Mhm.
born. That's not a spoiler.
Okay.
It's like on the first page. Um, and so she never knew the love, but she heard about the love from
Mm.
other people who witnessed how he prepared the world for her.
Mm.
And then you have a boy who has a very loving, doting dad, who kind of pushes him. He's a champion swimmer. And his father loves him, but he's also hard on him because he wants him to do, his best. And so it's kind of a complicated love that translates into conditional love for the son.
Oh, wow.
And so it kind of examines how, paternal love in absence and complication, how it affects the way that young people show up in their lives with their friends and how it affects the way they show up and relate to other people in love relationships.
Oh, wow.
And I wanted to do that because, I grew up with a father who was just emotionally unavailable. And my love story started when I was 18, and it was a big, beautiful love story. And, almost 30 years in, it has been a journey. And what I want for young people who have, these, because we all have something to heal from. If you have parents, you have something that you have to heal from. And I kind of want young people to read it and know that they can become introspective and self-aware and start opening their hearts up to love and start examining how they show up in their friendships and in their love relationships as young people. I don't want them to wait until they're 30, and
Don't wait. You don't
yeah,
have
like,
to wait.
and there's so much you can do. And I just wanted to write something that would contribute to some healing, among young Black people, and to also give them a beautiful reflection of two Black kids loving each other, because that's something, when I wrote the book, it wasn't something that was being promoted or celebrated, even in media. So yeah,
love is the word. We get to see ourselves on and off the page, enjoy and
absolutely,
love.
absolutely, yeah. And it's a Memphis story, and I feel like a lot of times young people in Memphis, there's a narrative about my city. And my family still lives there. My whole extended family, I grew up there. It's like there are so many beautiful stories in Memphis that we just don't see amplified. And so I said that I'm going to write beautiful stories that take place in Memphis that are beautiful, that Memphians can be proud of, that will inform people who have never been to Memphis, to give them another image of what Memphis is like, of what young Black people are like.
And that's so necessary, because one of the statistics in publishing is that just came out in a report in 2023 is that less than 5.3% of people in publishing identify as Black. So that includes publishers, agents, writers, editor, everyone who is in the business of making a book possible, right? So that means the overwhelming majority is white people who are in charge then of greenlighting books, of whose stories are able to get told.
Yes.
So first you have to write an incredible book, and then you were determined. You said, I'll put it on Amazon, wherever it's going to be, but of course it's sold at auction.
Yeah.
Of course, baby, it got picked up at auction. But to make the book available in the first place, so that we can have more available, right?
Absolutely.
Because our stories aren't shared en masse as our other white stories.
Absolutely. Another thing I want to add, when I wrote this book, like I said, I didn't see this book in publishing. I can tell you what happened. I sold my book during the pandemic. And there was a moment after George Floyd's murder, and I talk about this every time I get a microphone. There was a time, after that, where we kind of had in the entertainment industry, kind of had to wake up like, oh, okay, wait a minute. We entertain ourselves very often with Black pain. Those are the books that get awards. Those are the books that get amplified. And those books inform people who never met a Black person what Black people are like. We inform ourselves of other cultures and other people through the media that we.
That's right.
And so there was this frenzy in publishing where they were looking for soft Black books, where racism wasn't the central, where humanity was on display.
Our whole selves
were on display, so that it wouldn't be possible for somebody to see a scene like what happened with George Floyd and think, well, what did he do? Or pause before they run to his, we need to see Black people's humanity. And I feel like my book was so, sold at auction, and I had so many offers for representation, because we realized that we need these kinds of stories to complete the picture of what the Black experience is in America for young Black people. My son, he's 16 now, his reading lists in school, they send him home, and there are all these books, other people from other cultures having adventures, living just everyday lives, wielding magic. And every book that had a Black teenager on the cover, a Black young person on the cover, was centralized. Their Blackness was contextualized with racism. And I had a conversation with the teacher, and I was just like, we need more balance in the books that we're presenting to young people, because not only was my son looking at all the choices and seeing that his choices were, but the other students were too, and we're in a school district that's not predominantly Black. And so all the students are, there's this reinforcement of what is it like to be young and Black in America. Well, this is what it's like.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also like this, and we need more of this.
Yeah,
We need
that's a
more.
very narrow picture
It
that
is.
doesn't encapsulate the majority of our
Right.
lives, right?
Yeah.
Wonderful. So we're going to cut to a break, but when we come back, I also want to hear about your writing process
Okay.
and the time you took to feed into your craft to
Ooh.
get this book out into the world.
Okay.
We'll be right back after this break.
Thank you.
Welcome back. We're here still with Kelis Rowe talking about her incredible book, Finding Jupiter. And I was going to ask you some questions about your writing process. So
Okay.
we know you actually have to write the book
Yeah, you
before it is
do.
a book in the world. Can you tell us a
Yeah,
little
you
about
do.
your practice? Do you have a process?
Okay.
What did it take for you to write this incredible book?
Ooh, okay. So it did take me 3 years to write Finding Jupiter. Like I
Okay.
said, it was a passion project,
Mhm.
and that I wrote in a space where I was trying to not lose myself and keep my creative juices kind of flowing.
Mhm.
Um, I do not have a strict writing practice, but I did have to teach myself how to write books. I
Mm.
have a whole writing library of craft books, all the different methods, all the different, and I took webinars, I signed up for courses. I can't remember her name. She's an author who has a writing course that I took.
Okay.
And I kind of just used, these outlines and pieced my story together over time. Now, I knew that I wanted to write a dual point of view book. It was very ambitious for a first. This is the first book I've ever written, and I had this kind of success with
Oh
it.
my gosh,
Yeah,
congratulations.
thank you. I knew I wanted it to include poetry. At first, it was going to be original poetry, and then, obviously that's turned into blackout poetry. I knew that I wanted it to feel artsy, and I didn't see a lot of examples of that type of book. So I really just kind of pieced together this book over a 3-year period. Now, I will say that once I had the book deal, it was a 2-book deal.
Okay.
So the second book, they didn't say, oh, right when you're inspired over the next 3 years,
Okay.
I was writing to deadline,
Okay.
which is very, different. And so I try to, like, I have both my kids are in school now. And so I try to write as much as possible.
Mhm.
I leave the house, I go to the library,
Great
I
place to
wrote
write.
Finding
We love
Jupiter.
libraries.
Oh man, don't get me started on libraries. I wrote Finding Jupiter at the library. I got up and went to the library every day. And right now I'm revising my next book at the library
Okay.
every day. So
Wow.
yeah, I try to, put words on the page as much as possible. When I need inspiration, Torch Literary
Hey now.
has a writing circle.
Yeah.
And when I found out about the writing circle, I texted all my friends who are writing, who have books out, who are thinking about writing, who are dabble in writing, and I told them about the circle. And for those of you who haven't heard of it, we sign up and we get a Zoom link
Yeah.
every Monday night, and we get on, and it's just I get emotional
Okay.
because it's like you created this space, And there's something that you can't, like, I mean, this is your organization. You understand the power of bringing Black women together in a creative space. And it's quiet. Like, we're working, quietly, but that you're in community. And it's very cool to see the prompts. Like, there's a prompt that some people write to the prompt, but then, I write, on my project. And afterwards, somebody might share what they did, or the chat box is always alive with people giving feedback. And it's just a beautiful way to kind of get centered on a Monday night, sit down, focus, and it's a great way to start. I look forward to that every Monday.
We are so thrilled to have you in the writing circle. And it's another example of how the writing circle and all of our work at Torch is geared to supporting writers. We say emerging voices to experienced writers, right? Experienced voices.
Yeah.
So those who are truly just like, I don't know how to start writing, but I might be interested in writing, they can come to the writing circle and get a prompt and just try writing the prompt, right? Just that small step to say, I tried putting words on the page and now let's see what happens next. Okay.
Yeah.
Or experienced writers who have, I got a deadline from my publisher.
Absolutely.
I need 600 words on the page today. I'm going to come and write in community with other Black and BIPOC women who I know are writing in the same space. They are committed to the page like I am. And we're in this together.
Yeah, from all around the country.
Around the world.
Yeah, around the world.
We have over 300 people signed up for the writing circle. And they log in from South Africa, France, Nigeria, Jamaica, of course, Central Texas and Austin, Texas, and across the country. So we definitely want to make sure that you check out our programs, come to torchliteraryarts.org, sign up for the writing circle, but subscribe to our newsletter and you won't miss a thing. Okay, we're going to go to one more break, but thank you so much for being here. And I want to plug your event. You're going to be with us April 3rd at Book Woman for the Wildfire reading series. So come get your copy of Finding Jupiter, have Kelis Rowe sign it for you, and do stay in touch with Torch, torchliteraryarts.org.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. All right. Welcome back. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kelis Rowe, for being with us. We love chatting with you about Finding Jupiter. And now I'm just going to close quickly, sharing some more about the incredible prizes that you can win when you participate in Torch Literary Arts Amplify Austin campaign. We have jewelry from Kendra Scott that we'll be giving away. We have incredible books, courtesy of Book Woman and Book People, that we'll be giving away. We also have this bomb jersey. Check it out, by Devin Vassell. It is signed. Okay. You're going to want to put your name in the hat for this one, as well as 2 tickets to Nicki Minaj at the Moody Center and a night stay at the beautiful Colton House Hotel. So make sure you do come to amplifyatx.org, follow Torch Literary Arts, subscribe to our programs at torchliteraryarts.org, and do come to our future programs. We've got some incredible stuff coming up. We've got on March 9th, we'll be at Fam Jam on South Lamar. 10% of all sales in March will go to Torch Literary Arts. Thank you so much, Fam Jam. On Sunday, March 10th, we will be at Laguna Gloria, at the Contemporary Laguna Gloria for the Come Up with Origin Studio House. Poets Amanda Johnston, myself, and Tova Charles and Ebony Stewart will be reading during the showcase. We will also have an event March 12th. Come out to VUCA North for We Got Something, a screenwriting panel on Black women writing from inspiration to creation, with Monique Moses, who writes for HBO, and Charlotte Larston, who writes for NBC. Can't wait to see you at those programs. Again, thank you for your support. We can't do this without you. I want to thank our major donors, the City of Austin Cultural Arts Division, the Birding Johnson Foundation, the Poetry Foundation, the Austin Community Foundation Black Fund, and the National Endowment for the Arts, and of course, individual donors like you. We can't do this work without your support. Make sure you follow Torch Tonight on IG and YouTube for more interviews and special guests. Thank you so much for supporting and helping to amplify Black women writers.